the Lost Bear.
Hey, how you
Hello.
doing?
I'm
And
here as
Strawberry.
well. I'm here as well. No, just ignore me. Fine, that's fine. I just.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
But earlier, isn't it? It was the Shana na na
You're
na
just-
na joke.
They're just part of the furniture now.
It's funny. I can just be general Twitch man,
Pillow Man.
pillow man.
Let's let Jack talk.
Yes.
Can you introduce yourself? What do you do? And what is this game about?
So I'm Jack from Oddbug Studio, and we developed the Lost Bear for PSVR in the last 6 months. It's published by Fabric, and it went live on the PlayStation Store about a week ago. So the special thing about Lost Bear is it's actually a 2D VR game. So you play like a traditional 2D platformer, but in the guise of a puppet show theatre. So as you progress through the 2D game, the world around you in that puppet theatre changes. So you're kind of immersed in the world alongside the 2D character.
That's an interesting point of view on VR.
Yeah, well, everyone who's played it kind of doesn't expect the 2D-ness to work, but once they actually get the headset on or they see the trailer, they kind of are impressed with it, which is really
That's
nice.
one thing you say to people with VR. What's it going to be? You expect 3D, big,
Yeah.
immersive worlds, but presenting it like a pantomime, like a Punch and Judy show, that's something that's going to be so immersive and really suits, sitting with the VR headset, and it will allow you to really get into the story. And I think there's so many, obviously there's the big VR games like Resident Evil. There's a lot of very little idiosyncratic, very well woven stories that are really suited to the VR technology.
That's something we felt with Lost Bear, is that we wanted to make a short, compact experience that really pushed on the immersion, so you could complete it in one sitting, but really feel like you're a part of that world, so that you're enjoying being around. You're not shooting people, you're not really being aggressive. You can actually just sit back and chill and enjoy being in another universe. So shall I?
I think you're gonna
go.
plug yourself in. We're totally not gonna hit you with pillows and mock you where you're not looking.
You
Don't worry.
should see what the office is like with all these people with headsets on. So I'll just start it up.
Typeface.
And as you say, this game's already out right now, so people can go check it out on the store right now if they want to.
Yeah, so it's $9.99 on the PlayStation Store in Europe and $13 in America.
Awesome.
So yeah, as I said, as you start up, you're in this sort of 3D world, but in front of you is this big theatre stage that the 2D game plays out on. Your controller's tracked within this world as well, so there's a lot of interaction between the 2D game and the 3D world that you're sitting in. You're the sole watcher of the theatre show. So the story follows this little girl called Walnut and her brother. A lot of people think it's her father, but it's actually her brother. And the little girl is actually based on the director's sister. One day she went missing out in the woods on her own with her teddy bear, and she came back at the end of the day like nothing had happened. So this is kind of our imagination of what did happen. But as you can see here, like the butterflies are actually coming out of the screen and filling your space around you.
It's such an interesting artistic template to work with, The fact that, we've got so many expectations as gamers of what we're going to be delivered to us, how it's presented. And this is such a fresh look on something we can all identify with, which is sitting in the theatre, enjoying a show on a stage, but presented in a way that's totally new and fresh.
So this is one of the key mechanics. Is Walnut's sling is actually motion tracked with the controller, so you're using it like almost like a laser pointer to be able to shoot things, and that's your main way of interacting with the world. Another cool thing is that the world actually changes as you're progressing through. So there you can see there's a beehive in the 3D world, and as you progress through the 2D game, you come to a scene with the beehive, and now that 3D window has changed.
Wow.
So as you progress through, your world's actually kind of hinting to what's to come.
Spoilers.
Oh, well. So this is another cool moment. You're just out collecting some honey with your brother, but as you shoot down the beehive, all those bees then come out and around the player. So again, you're getting immersed in that world of the Lost Bear.
And it's just, it's using that kind of paradigm shift almost from this is the entertainment presented on a screen in front of you to you are actually within the environment, but still using that 2D frame as a jumping off point to mess with people's expectations. And I imagine as the story goes along, this integration and the things you're going to do become more unraveling and a lot more deep and complex.
Oh, yeah, definitely. As you go through, this whole environment around you will completely change, and the mechanics change as well to go along with it. So again, a spoiler, later on in the game, you're actually the whole room goes dark, and in a similar way to the slingshot, your controller becomes a torch, so then you're shining around the room.
Oh, awesome.
To get to darkness. But this is another one of our mechanics, is we have these sort of levers that you can actually put your controller into, and then you can directly interact with that 2D world. So you're kind of helping Walnut on her journey as well. So it's almost a cooperation between the game player and you, which is quite nice.
This is so interesting. I've never seen anything like this.
It's something like, I'm a big fan of cinema theory, critical theory in games, and caring about a character, going on their journey with them is such a big part about being ingratiated to a story.
Yeah.
And this is taking it to a new level because, we all we're used to having a cinema screen and like watching things in a theatre, but actually taking part on it on this level while things are going on around you will really, that immersion is going to be off the charts.
How did you come up with this? If you think about VR, this is not the first thing that comes up in your head. How did you come up with the idea?
So our lead artist, Martin, he's from the Czech Republic. So we kind of had this idea for a 2D sort of Eastern European puppet show. And that's how we kind of connected our 2D artwork alongside this puppet show to be able to include a VR setting.
Because this, at first, if you come up with an idea like this, why not make it a 2D platform game?
A 2D platform game, there's already a lot of them. I mean, Limbo and Inside Playdead's games are really popular at the minute, but we wanted something that allowed you to be immersed in that world further, something that offered something a little bit different. So, as I was saying, you're actually on this journey with Walnut now. You're not just playing as Walnut, you're almost participating with her on that story, which is something we wanted the player to feel something different as you played through.
It creates that level of protection and the fact that you've got to guide her, and that's what you're doing as a game player. Even if you're playing a game like Inside Limbo, you're guiding that person's journey. Yeah. But here you're more kind of hinting and,
cooperating.
Cooperating the fact that you are part of the journey, and there you are, you're in the game as the player sitting there interacting. It's not that suspension of disbelief that you need in so many things. In this, this is the world in front of you, and it allows you to make that artistic jump off a lot easier.
So as you can see, we've now gone into the next level. So the whole world has actually completely changed around me. And as I looked around, these eyes were coming on, and other smaller things like that will happen. But now Walnut has fallen down the cliff. She's lost her teddy bear, and the true story of the lost bear actually starts. So a lot of this startup level is obviously introductions to platforming, which is something we evolve throughout as you go through, but we also like to include more cinematic events, so there's almost cutscenes throughout the game.
How do cutscenes work in a setting like this?
So they play out in a 2D game, but as you can see there, we have the 3D elements of the crows coming across you. Yeah. So we try and weave a story between the two worlds. Just like at the cliff, we had that bug come from in the 3D world, fly around the player, then go into the 2D world, and that's what causes Walnut to fall. So we try and weave the two worlds together through the cutscenes.
I think presenting the game in this way, I think it allows for replayability as well. I'm someone, I'm sure other gamers out there are the same. I like to replay games once I've played them, because you get an idea of where you've been. Oh, that hints to that. Oh, that leads to that. I think this game is going to lead to even more replayability, because you're going to see, oh, what was in the right-hand corner of the theatre when that thing happened? What did I miss over there on the left? You're going to want to see so much of it because so much is going on.
Definitely, because that's the thing. If you don't look around at certain points, you're going to miss stuff. So there's definitely replayability in it. We also have a whole collectible system, so there's more ways to play. But the thing I like about it is it's nice to chill in this world. It's not intense. You're not going to come out sweating and worrying about if anyone's watching you. You're just chilling and enjoying being part of Walnut's world.
I think that's one thing where VR is really lending itself towards. Obviously, it's easy to see that the Far Points and the Resident Evils, the big action games that are like those button games. But it's these games like Eagle Flight, games like this that allow you to just sit down, put the VR headset on, and literally transport yourself into another world like never before. When you're going back to a 2D screen, it doesn't really feel the same.
Definitely, that's something we really hope after doing a 2D game in VR is that other devs see that there's more than first-person shooters that VR is good for. You can try different things, and people respond to them. People, especially in the VR community, really want new experiences.
Yeah.
So hopefully more devs will see that Lost Bear kind of works in 2D and they'll try other stuff.
I think it will. I think that's hopefully that's the way the industry's going. Is VR is still it's been around like a year now. People have done the tech demos. People have got it. It's PSVRs and other systems are starting to get people's houses. People are looking for divergent, unique experiences like this. And this could be like hopefully this will be a game that ushers in even more artistic very not simple but not big gregarious opportunities like that, but something very niche, something very deliberate, something very well woven and told.
Definitely, that's something I hope, because I have a PSVR and I want new experiences to play.
Yeah, there's only so many times you can play Resident Evil 7 and get those cutscenes.
That's scary.
That game is scary. Like, there's a couple of friends of me that are like, "Oh, have you played Resident Evil 7?" I played it on VR, and they're like, "No, we won't play it on VR. It's that scary."
So this is another cool thing we do. So you've got these sort of bells in the 3D that are then reciprocated in the 2D. So as you play out this tune in here, they then respond in the 3D space and play the tune around you. Because that's another thing VR is really good at, and we tried to include in Lost Bear is 3D sounds around you that make you look around and see what's going on, which again really helps to immerse you in the world.
I imagine that may be quite tough. You're coming from 2D platforming, which is such an established, everyone's got a language they understand about how 2D games work, and you're introducing very new mechanics in the PSVR and VR space. Like you just said, like hearing sounds and keying you to look around to look for that sound. That's a new gameplay idea. That's a new mechanic, and you're making that fresh without making it seem kind of tokenistic. That must be quite a struggle at times.
Yeah, definitely. That was something we had to really work hard on. Was that there was no other games for us to reference. There was no other games for us to look at to get ideas that was doing something similar. So we had to really test a lot of stuff out, and if it wasn't good enough, chuck stuff away.
I'm really sad to cut it off. It's such a cool scene right now, but this is about as much time as we have to look at this game. Yeah.
No, well, thank you.
So come out of your dream world.
Welcome back to reality.
Isn't it disappointing?
Yeah, it's not as nice, I'll tell you that.
All right, well, thank you so much for coming over and showing us this game. I am sad I don't have a VR now. Like, I've never wanted one, and now that I see this, I'm like...
Well, we're showing on the EGX floor, so come over and play.
All right, I will. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right, we'll be back after a short break.